Today I want to show how to make a beef Wellington. And to make a beef Wellington, you need salt, pepper, mustard, prosciutto ham, and rosemary. If you make two, filet mignon beef Wellington, you need about half spring of rosemary, and you need Duxelles. Duxelles is the if you subscribe my channel, I will have a video show how to make Duxelles. I don't usually, the first time I make a beef Wellington, I make them from scratch, everything. It takes lots of time. So I don't usually do it all of them at once, especially these Duxelles. I pre-make them and I put in the refrigerator because that takes the longest time. You have to blend them, you have to dry them. So just subscribe my channel. I will show you how. It will show you how to make these Duxelles. It's pretty much mushroom paste. And the first step is I chop this rosemary. Preferable you use the fresh rosemary. Don't use the dry one because dry one, it doesn't have as aromatic as the fresh one. So after you just finely chop them, if you can chop them as small as possible. My good knife is in the dishwasher right now, so I have to use a different knife to chop the rosemary. So after you chop them, you spread them over your chopping board. You spread them like this, and then you sprinkle salt and pepper over your chopping board. And sprinkle salt. Spread them a little bit farther, and then you roll the you dry the meat first of all. You completely dry. Somehow when you dry them, the flavor will stick it on. And I did a lots of study how to make beef Wellington by myself. So you roll it on the chopping board, you push it hard, and then also on the edge, because the edge doesn't have flavor too. So this trick I learned from watching lots of YouTube video. This one is wet. So you push them hard on both ends. This one doesn't have enough. So if there's a little bit left over, just roll them around and don't waste those seasoning. All right, then you're ready to pan sear them. When you I'm gonna bring it to the stove side to pan sear them. While we will pan sear the beef Wellington, I need to turn on the oven about 450 degrees, kind of high heat. When you pan sear the beef Wellington, you turn on high heat. Use some kind of oil with high burning point, and don't use butters or olive oil. Number one, olive oil has it's a very strong flavor oil, so this is already have enough flavor on it. So I highly recommend just use some kind of plain oil. So you need to heat the frying pan really hot. So about a minute or two, the oil is very hot. You kind of can, and I always use my hand to feel it, and this one is this high. I can feel it, so it's very hot. I turn on the exhaust fan. So it's kind of miserable looking, but that's okay. Just let it be very hot. About a minute and a half. So it's already about a minute and a half. We turn on the other side. It's about a minute and a half on both sides already. Turn the stove off and remove them from heat, and I use the remaining heat to sear the side. And after you use the remaining heat on the side, you put it on the back of the chopping board. And you immediately brush mustard on it. The better the mustard, the better it tastes. And I run out of Dijon mustard, so I just use regular mustard. It will work too. You just brush it all over the filet mignon. And make sure you brush on the side too. Okay, you're done with the mustard. Clean up the surrounding area. Then you use the Duxelles, the mushroom paste. Some people does not know what Duxelles is, so I always say mushroom paste. So you just mush it from one side first. These Duxelles is like a gold because you take time to make them, so they're like gold because. And you need 1 piece of this prosciutto. I prefer use boar's head, so you wrap them, you fold them around, and you put more Duxelles on top. Like what I said, if you use divided, make the Duxelles ahead of the time, it will be a lot faster. But if you use, you're making from the Duxelles from scratch, it takes very long time. Since this is a small piece, I'm gonna use just 1 piece of prosciutto. So you just double cover the top and bottom with Duxelles, and they are ready. They are ready to wrap in the puff pastry. By the way, you need puff pastry. Pepperidge Farms in the frozen food section close to the dessert area have puff pastry. For a box of puff pastry, you have 2 of these puff pastry. So 1 piece is sufficient to make 2 of them. I always mush the seam area so to make them smooth. And you put them so 1 piece is bigger than the other one, so I cut 1 piece a little bit bigger and put it in the center and start pulling them a little bit aside. They have elastic. It's not like they are dead animal. So you wrap them and fold them. Wrap them and fold them. One piece done. 1 beef Wellington is done. So you just do the other piece. This is a smaller piece, so and then you wrap them. And then you use your both hand, just push them around. So to continue, you need a cookie sheet you need some aluminum foil to cover the sheet because I'm lazy. I don't want to wash the cookie sheet every time I cook something. And you cover them. And spray a little bit Pam on it because if you don't, they will stick it at the bottom. And you put both beef Wellington, you put them in the center. The other part is use a piece of knife, this really sharp knife, and gently scorch them. Don't cut them all the way through, just gently scorch them and create this pattern, like a basket weaving kind of pattern or checker pattern. Just scorch them gently. So scorch them because that's when they bake them, they have that pattern. And then you crack an egg. For the egg wash, just one egg will be sufficient. Break the egg. You don't need a special fork or whatever. Just use the brush and circle them around. You minimize the utensil that you're going to use to cook this dish. And this is the egg wash to go on top of the beef Wellington. And then you brush all over the beef Wellington, including the side. Because you want the side have the golden looking. And brush all over both of them. And you need to bake them. My oven is not ready, so I'm gonna brush all over on the side. You need to bake them in the oven 450 degrees for about 30 minutes. So the oven is already set for 450 degrees, and then you just put it in there for, they're all slided down to the edge. Put it in the center of the oven and bake for 25 minutes. So it's 25 minutes and I open the oven, look at the beef Wellington. They are not too brown. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on the boiler to brown them, and so it will be ready. So I put it on the boiler, boiled it for like less than a minute. Look at how beautiful they are. So I let it rest for like 5 minutes and cut it open to show you how it looked like inside. So I want to cut it open to show you how it looked like of this beef Wellington. Look, perfect. And have a pink in the center. And then you can see the mushroom layer. And see, pink in the center. And then you can see the prosciutto, the mushroom, and it tastes really good. Bon appetit.